In this video, we are going to look at how to add spirals in Civil 3D. This is a series video. In the first video, I will tell you how to add a single spiral. That means we are adding only one spiral. Here I have a curve. So I am going to add a spiral to this curve with a line. That means I am going here. You have two options: floating line with spiral. So we are going to have a spiral with a line. So we have two options: through point and length. This through point and length means the length of line. So you can, if you know the length of the line, you can give the length. If you don't know the length of the line, you can use through point. So it will be better to use this through point option. That one is very easy to handle. So I will go with through point option, but you can use spiral option with length also. So I click here. So it's asking me select an entity to attach to. So I am going to add this spiral to this one. So my alignment is going from this side to this side. So it is asking what is my spiral length. Usually this spiral length is coming from a geometric design guideline. So depending on the speed of the road or speed of the alignment, it will give the spiral length. In my case, I will give a value as 30 here. My spiral length is 30. So it is asking then what is your through point. You can see when you are having this line through point, we have a tangent line and a spiral. This green color area means the spiral. It will have a 30 meter length. So I will click somewhere here and right click. So now I have a curve and a spiral curve and a tangent section. So if I turn on the labels here, you can see here 136.73, 166.73. That means this is a 30 meter length spiral. So that is how to add a spiral to a curve with a floating line. Then we will see how to add a spiral to a line with after a line with a curve. So you have to go with this option. I use this drop down and I will add this one here, floating curve with spiral. This time also you have two options, length and through point. It is same like the earlier version. So here you will have a curve with a spiral starting from an entity. That means in this case it starts from this line, and if you need to know the radius of the curve, you have to add, and you need to know the spiral length also. So I will go with this through point option. I click here and this is asking me whether we are to attach this one. I will attach this to this entity. So it is asking radius of the curve. Let us say the radius of the curve is 60 meters. Then it is asking what is the spiral length. So in here also you have to get this value from a design guideline, but I will type some value here as 25. So it is asking whether your curve is going greater than or less than 180. That means whether your curve is going like this or going like this. Most of the cases we are getting less than 180 option. So I will accept less than 180 option and press enter. So now it is asking where is my through point. So I can click anywhere in my screen according to my requirement to get this, and you have to right click to end the command. Then here also you can see my 25 meter spiral is added, and also if you see this radius here, it is 60 meters and spiral length is 25. So that is how to add a simple spiral or single spiral to a curve or a line in Civil 3D. In the next video, we will see how to add reverse spirals and compound spirals into Civil 3D alignments. In this video, we are going to look at how to add spirals to an alignment. This is the second video of the series. We have seen how to add single spirals to alignment using floating line option and floating curve option. In this, we are going to look at how to add reverse spirals and compound spirals. Here I am going to add the reverse spiral here. Here I am using this one, but you can use this one also. I will tell you both of these. First I will go with this option. We have a reverse curve. Now I have a curve here. If I want to have a reverse curve, my next curve will be going like this. So in that case I will have a reverse spiral in the middle. So I use this option. It is asking me what is the curve to attach. I will attach to this curve. Then it is asking spiral in length. So you have two spirals here. One spiral for this curve and the other spiral for the next curve we are going to create. So spiral in length means the spiral length for this curve. I will tell that I will use that spiral length as 25. As I told you earlier, you have to use these spiral lengths from a design guideline. You cannot arbitrarily select these lengths. So first one I will use 25. Then it is asking the radius of the other curve. I will use the radius as 50 meters. Then it is asking the spiral out length. Spiral out length means the spiral length connected to the last curve. So I will type it as 30 meters. Then it is asking the through point. So I can use whatever the through point I can, whatever the through point I can use. So I will click somewhere here. So I will get the option here. Now you can see this length is 25, this length is 30, and this is 50 meter radius. Here you can see the radius is 50 meter. So that is how to add the reverse curve with reverse spirals. Again I will show you the other option also, reverse curve with spirals from curve 2 points. So I will go with this one. So it is asking which entity to attach. I will attach to this entity. Then it is asking spiral in length. I will tell spiral in length is 25 and out length is 20, let us say. So it is asking 2 points where my curves will pass through. So if it is a reverse curve, my other curve will be like this. So I have to select 2 points in that direction. First I will select somewhere here, and then I will select somewhere here. So it will give you the options now where I can have the curve. In this case, you can create another spiral. Here you can see my 25 meter and 30 meter spirals have been added, and if I go here, my radius is 46.672. So in this case, what the difference here is, you cannot give the radius. Instead of the radius, you are giving 2 points where the curve goes through. So that is how to add a spiral curve or reverse spiral curve with reverse spirals. Next we will see how to add free spiral curve spiral between two entities. So to do that I need another entity, because from here I need to have two entities. Here I have the curve, but here I need to have another curve before adding this one. So I will actually not a curve, but you have a line or a curve. Let us say we will have a line. Now we are going to add another we are going to check another spiral option. It is this one, free spiral curve spiral option. Here you can see I have the previous alignment continued, and I have added one more entity here, a line section, because if I am using this option you have to have two entities. This spiral curve spiral option will be added between two entities. In this case I will be adding this curve with spirals from this curve to this tangent. So I am going with that option. First it is asking me the first entity to attach. I will select this my curve, and then the next entity I will select this tangent, and it's asking for the curve solution. It is less than 180, and it is asking for the radius of the curve. I will say it is 80 meters, and it is asking spiral in length, this spiral length between the curve and the between two curves. So I will type it as 20, and you can say directly it entered into the alignment. Then it is asking the spiral out length, that means the spiral length here. I type this one also as 20. So you can see now my free spiral between two entities created smoothly. So that is how to add a free spiral between two entities with a curve. This is the option we check. Actually this option is free spiral curve spiral option. Right, next we will see how to add this one, free compound curve spiral between two tangents. That will be in the next video. In this video we are going to look at adding more complex spiral curves. In the first two videos we added simple spirals, and then we added reverse spirals, but in this video we are going to add multiple spirals. That means we are going to add 3 spirals in one option. So here what I am going to do is I am going to add free compound spiral. That means I have a compound curve with spirals between two tangents. In this video we are going to see how to add spirals between two tangents, compound option and reverse option. So I will click this one. It is asking my first entity, then it is asking my second entity, and it is asking the curve 1 radius. I will type it as let us say 400, and let us say the curve second curve radius is 600, and it is asking the first spiral length, that means the first spiral. So in here, this preview, you can see what kind of a curve you are getting. You have a spiral, then you have a spiral, and then you have a spiral, and you have two curves here. Now it is asking the first spiral length here. So here I am going to type it as 50. It is asking the second spiral length. I will type it as 45, and the third spiral length I will type it as 45. So as I told you earlier in this video series, you have to check the spiral length with your relevant design guideline when you are adding spiral curves. So it is asking what is the start point of incoming tangent. So when you are moving your cursor along this incoming tangent, you can see the curve is automatically generating here. So this is the incoming tangent option. You have several options you can choose. So I'm only choosing this option. So if I choose somewhere here, my spiral curve will be attach to here, and it will start from here and move forward. So you can see now it is continued, and this spiral curves are created with a compound curve. So that is how to create a compound curve with spirals. Now let's look at how to create a spiral curve with between two tangents with the reverse curve option. Now I am going to create the reverse spiral curves between two tangents. I am going to use this option, free reverse spiral curve, spiral curve, spiral between two tangents. In here you can see we have 4 spirals because of the reverse curve. So I will select this option. You can see in the preview image how it will look like. So it is asking the first tangent. I will select this one, and it is asking the next tangent. I will select this one, and it is asking the curve radius of the first one. Let us say it is 400, and it is asking the spiral length for the first one. I will say it is 50, and spiral length of the second one, I will say it is also 50, and it is asking the curve 2 radius. I will say it is 600, and it is asking the third spiral length, which is the reverse spiral. So I will type it as 45, and the last spiral also I will type it as 45. So it is asking again what is the location of the tangent in the incoming section. So I can use where I can use this option. So it will, so when I move my cursor, now I am moving my cursor here. So when you are moving my cursor here, you can see my curve is creating the curves, the set of curves are creating, but with the parameters I have given, you can see my first curve has a very small length. So that depends on the parameters you are giving. So when you are giving the parameters, you can check whether the parameters comply with each other. So later you can change the parameters as well. So I will click somewhere here, and then I will have these curves here. Especially when you are adding these curves with this option, that is very complex. It is very hard to get them into the correct or required location. But once you have created, you can sometimes move this something like this. You can move the curves with this option here and there if you need. So that is how to add reverse and compound curves between two tangents. In the next video we will see some more options how to add spirals in the Civil 3D alignments. This is the last set of spiral curve video series. Here we are going to talk about this list of options to add spiral curves. I am not going to talk about fixed spirals, so we are hardly using that option, but I will discuss the other options. First I will discuss the free spiral between two entities option. In this option we will be having a single spiral between two entities. That two entities can be either spiral, either tangent and a curve, or tangent and a tangent, or curve and a curve, or either one of these options. So in here I am using the two tangent option. So first I will be clicking here to get that command running. So it is asking for the first entity. I select the first entity. Then it is asking for this next entity. I will select the next entity. It is asking what is your spiral type. So in this case you have to understand what is the spiral types we have to use. So a spiral means an entity that has changing radius. Changing radius means it is starting from one radius and changing in a way that it comes to another radius. So here in spiral incurve means the radius of the start end of the spiral is high and the radius of the last end or ending end of the spiral is low. That means the radius is decreasing. So if you take the outcurve option, in the outcurve option, your radius at the start end is low and radius at the last or ending side is high. So I will go with the incurve option. That means radius of the start is high and radius of the ending side is low. So I will accept this option. So it is asking for my spiral length. I will type 30 here. So you can see you get this spiral. So I right click to enter that option. So you can see you have a 30 meter spiral here. Then I will use this option, free spiral, free compound spiral and spiral. So that means two spirals in the same direction. So to go with that option, I will delete this one and I will use this command to get this option, free compound spiral between two tangents. This one I will use this one, sorry for the previous explanation. Free compound spiral between two tangent options. So I will select the first tangent and select the next tangent, and it is asking for my spiral in length. I will type 20 as spiral in length, and whether it is asking my direction is greater than 180 or less than 180. So I will use less than 180 option, and it is asking for my spiral out length. I will type 25 as spiral out length. So you can see I have two spirals now, with one with 20 meter and the other one with 25 meter, which is a compound spiral. So that is how to add compound spirals and single spirals between two tangents. Next we will look at how to add spirals between curves. Here now we have two curves. I am going to add this free compound spiral between two curves option here. So I select this one. It is asking to select my first entity. I will select my first entity. Then I will select the second entity or the next entity. Now it is asking for the A1 A2 ratio, that is a ratio related to spirals. Otherwise you can add the length ratios. So you have two spirals, two compound spirals. You can add the ratio of the length of these two spirals. Let us say we have same length spiral here. So the length ratio would be 1:1. So this is length. The length ratio is 1. So you can see it will create a similar length two spirals in between these two curves in the same direction in between these two curves. So that is how to add compound spirals between two curves. In the next option we will see how to add a reverse spiral between two curves. Here now I am going to add the reverse spiral between two curves. I am going here, I select this option, reverse spiral between two curves. It is asking for my first entity and next entity. I select these entities. Then it is asking for the length or A1 A2 option. I will use the length option and use this as 1. So you can see now we have a reverse spiral. Both are in equal length in between these two curves. So that is how to add a reverse spiral between two curves. Next we will see how to add free compound spiral between next we will see how to add free reverse spiral between two curves with spiral length. So in that case we will have spiral, then we have a line or tangent section, and then again you will have a spiral. So we will see how to add that option. So now we are going to add reverse spiral line spiral option between two curves by giving spiral length. So I select this option. It is asking for the first entity and the next entity, and it is asking me my first spiral length. I will type it as 15. Sorry, I think I just missed that, so I do it again. So I select first entity and the next entity, and my first spiral length is 15. And I will close this one for the moment. It's 15, and it is asking for my spiral out length. I will give it that also as 15, and you can see now I have a curve, then a spiral and a tangent section, and then again a spiral and a curve. So that is how to use free reverse spiral line spiral option between two curves with spiral length. So in the next we will see how to add free reverse spiral line between two. Actually I don't have to explain this one. In this case you will give the line length instead of the spiral length. So these two are very similar, because in this case we are giving the spiral length, in this case we are giving the line length. That means this length. So I will not explain this one. It can be done in the same way with this one. So in the next we will see how to add a free compound spiral line spiral option. So now we are going to use this option, free compound spiral line spiral. So it will give us a spiral line and a spiral between these two curved sections. It will be same as this one. So this one and this one will be same. The only difference is in this case we are giving the spiral length, in this case we are giving the line length. I will go with this option. I select the first entity, then it is asking for next entity. I will select that one, and it is asking the first spiral length. So I will give the length as 15, and it is asking for spiral out length. I will give that as also 15, and it will give me a compound with spirals with a tangent in between as described in this case. So that is how to add spirals in various scenarios when you are developing alignments. So in this video series about spirals, I have explained you how to add simple spirals, how to add floating spirals or reverse spirals, and how to add more complex spirals here. So you can use this option according to your need to add spirals into Civil 3D alignments.